You trapped my son with your fake career, she hissed at brunch. What even is user experience? Made up millennial nonsense. 2 years later, at 58, she sat in my office. Please. After the divorce, I need work. I'll take an unpaid internship. Anything. I studied her resume thoughtfully. The question wasn't whether to hire Patricia Worthington, it was whether watching her serve coffee to 20-somethings she once called participation trophy winners would teach her humility or break her entirely. The brunch that started it all was at the Ivy in downtown Austin, Patricia's choice. She always chose places where being seen mattered more than what you ate. 2 years ago, she'd summoned me there like a CEO calling an underperforming employee to headquarters. I'd just gotten engaged to her son James, and she had opinions to share. Let me understand this, Patricia had said, stirring her mimosa with the precision of someone defusing a bomb. You design experiences? Not products. Not services. Experiences. User experiences specifically, I'd clarified, maintaining eye contact despite her withering stare. I help companies understand how people interact with their digital products. So you're a decorator. But for websites. She'd said it the way someone might say, so you're a criminal, but for children. It's more complex than that. I research user behavior, create personas, design interfaces. Personas. She'd laughed, a sound like champagne flutes breaking. You mean imaginary friends? And James thinks this is a career. Maya's actually quite successful, James had attempted, squeezing my hand under the table. Successful at what? Making up job titles? Patricia had turned to the adjacent table, where her country club friends were pretending not to eavesdrop. My son's marrying someone whose job is literally playing pretend with computers. I run a consultancy, I'd said quietly. 15 employees. Fortune 500 clients. Consultancy. She'd made air quotes sharp enough to draw blood. Another made-up word for unemployed people who give advice. In my day, we had real jobs. You were a teacher, a nurse, a banker. Not a, what was it? User experience consultant? Just UX designer is fine. UX. She'd pronounced it like a disease. Everything's acronyms with your generation. Can't even commit to full words. No wonder you can't commit to real careers. James had tried again. Mom, Maya's work is actually fascinating. I'm sure it is, to other millennials who think work should be fascinating. More air quotes. My generation didn't need fascination. We needed paychecks. Security. Pension plans. Not gig economy nonsense. I'm not part of the gig economy. I own a company. A company. She'd examine me over her designer glasses. From your apartment? That's not a company, dear. That's a hobby with a tax ID. The waiter had appeared, offering a momentary reprieve. Patricia ordered for the table without asking preferences, another power move in her endless game of domestic dominance. You know what terrifies me, she'd continued after he left. My James, Harvard MBA, throwing his life away for someone who colors in websites. He could have married Jennifer Blackwood. She's a real lawyer. Yale Law. I'm sure Jennifer's wonderful, I'd said. She is. She also has a trust fund and a family name that means something. Not a LinkedIn profile full of buzzwords. Patricia had pulled out her phone. Look at this. Your website. Empowering digital transformation through human-centered design. What does that even mean? It means I help companies. It means nothing. It's word salad. Jargon soup. The kind of thing people say when they don't have real skills. She'd shown the phone to her friends at the next table. Can you believe this is considered a career now? Mom, that's enough, James had said firmly. I'm trying to save you. She's clearly intelligent. Attractive enough. But intelligence without direction is just wasted potential. And attraction fades. What's left? A middle-aged woman with no real skills, no security, dependent on you. I'm financially independent, I'd interjected. For now. Until this UX bubble bursts and everyone remembers that websites don't need experiences, they need to work. She'd leaned forward. I've seen this before. Young women latching onto successful men with smoke and mirrors careers. By the time the truth comes out, there are children involved. You think I'm a gold digger? I think you're smart enough to know James is a catch and desperate enough to pretend your pretend job matters to keep him, she'd smiled, poison wrapped in Botox. No offense. How could I possibly take offense at that? She'd missed the sarcasm. Exactly. You seem reasonable. So be reasonable. End this now. Let James find someone substantial. Someone with a real career, not a participation trophy masquerading as entrepreneurship. Patricia, James had stood. We're leaving. Sit down. I'm not finished. Yes, you are. He'd helped me up. Maya, let's go. If you leave now, don't expect support from your father and me, Patricia had warned. We won't fund a wedding based on delusion. We don't need your money, James had said quietly. Maya's fake career has made her quite successful. More successful than, he'd stopped himself. Then what? Say it. Then someone who's never worked a day in her life judging those who do. The silence had been deafening. Patricia's face had cycled through shock, rage, and something that might have been hurt before settling on cold fury. When this falls apart, she'd said finally, don't come crying to me. We'd left then, walking into the Austin heat. In the car, James had apologized profusely. I had no idea she'd be that cruel. She's protecting her son. In her own twisted way. She's a snob who can't accept the world changed while she wasn't looking. That too. We'd married 6 months later. Small ceremony, family only. Patricia came, wearing black like it was a funeral. She'd spent the reception telling anyone who'd listen about Jennifer Blackwood's recent promotion to partner. For 2 years, every interaction followed the same pattern. Thanksgiving, still playing with computers? Christmas, Jennifer just bought a house in River Oaks. Easter, I saw the cutest help wanted sign. Perfect for when your little business fails. Through it all, I'd built my company. What started in my apartment grew to a full office downtown. 15 employees became 50. Fortune 500 clients became Fortune 100. My fake career generated 8 figures annually, though Patricia never asked and I never told. James thrived too, his MBA finally put to use helping me scale the business. We were partners in every sense, building something together. Patricia saw none of it, blinded by her conviction that only traditional careers counted. Then Richard left her. The divorce blindsided everyone except those paying attention. 28 years of marriage dissolved in 6 months of legal battles. Turns out Richard had been paying attention to more than his golf game, specifically, to his 30-year-old assistant who understood his need for authentic connection. Patricia fought for everything and lost most of it. Texas community property laws are unforgiving when you've never worked, never contributed financially. She got the house but couldn't afford maintenance. Got alimony but not enough for her lifestyle. Got reality served cold with a side of humiliation. Which brings us to today. My office, 20th floor overlooking Lady Bird Lake. Patricia sitting across from my desk, resume in hand, pride nowhere to be found. I need this, she said quietly. I've applied everywhere. No one wants a 58-year-old woman with no experience. I reviewed her resume. 28 years of marriage listed like a job. Managed household. Organized social events. Coordinated charitable functions. Desperation dressed up as qualifications. What happened to the country club connections? I asked. They were Richard's connections. Without him. She shrugged, the gesture containing volumes. Divorced women aren't welcome in married circles. Too threatening. And Jennifer Blackwood? Couldn't she help? Patricia flinched. She's busy. Making partner. You understand. I did understand. Fair weather friends scattered when the weather turned stormy. The same women who'd laughed at my career over champagne now avoided Patricia's calls. Why UX? I asked. Why my company specifically? Because I was wrong. The words seemed to physically hurt her. About everything. Your career, your value, your... She gestured vaguely, all of it. I spent 2 years mocking something I didn't understand. And now? Now I need to understand. I need skills. Real skills. And you're the only person who might give me a chance despite everything. I leaned back, studying her. Designer clothes slightly outdated. Jewelry sold or hidden. Manicure grown out. The transformation from country club queen to job applicant was complete. I don't do charity, I said. I'm not asking for charity. I'll work. Whatever you need. Filing, phones, coffee runs. I know I have to start at the bottom. The bottom here is competitive. I have MIT graduates fighting for internships. I'll work harder than them. You're 58. They're 22. Energy matters in startups. Experience matters too. I may not have technical skills, but I spent 28 years reading people, understanding what they really want versus what they say they want. Isn't that user research? Interesting pivot. Go on. Every charity event, every gala, every mindless luncheon, I was studying people. What made them donate? What made them engage? What made them feel important enough to write checks? She leaned forward. I may not know wireframes, but I know human behavior. Teach me the technical parts. I already understand the human ones. Our intern program is unpaid for the first 3 months. I know. You'd report to Kayla. She's 25, has 2 years experience, and doesn't tolerate excuses. I know. She also has pink hair, visible tattoos, and uses they/them pronouns. Problem? Patricia's jaw tightened, then relaxed. No problem. You'd be getting coffee for people you called participation trophy winners. Taking notes in meetings about things you called made-up nonsense. Learning from millennials you dismissed as lazy. Still interested? Yes. I made her wait while I pretended to consider. In truth, I decided the moment she walked in. Not from kindness, from curiosity. Could someone like Patricia transform? Could humility be learned at 58? Could crow be eaten gracefully? 3-month trial, I said finally. Unpaid internship. If you survive and show aptitude, we'll discuss a paid position. If you complain, condescend, or create drama, you're gone. No warnings, no second chances. I understand. Do you? Because this isn't a game. This is my company. These people are my family. You hurt any of them with the attitude you showed me at that brunch, and you'll be escorted out by security. I understand, she repeated, quieter. Monday. 7 a.m. Business casual, and Patricia? No designer labels. You're an intern, not a fashion show. She stood, clutching her purse. Thank you. I won't disappoint you. That remains to be seen. At the door, she turned. Maya? What you've built here, it's real. More real than anything I had. I see that now. Monday, Patricia. Don't be late. After she left, Kayla knocked and entered. Was that seriously James's mom? The one who called you a gold digger? Among other things. And you hired her? Tentatively. Why? I looked out at Austin's skyline, tech companies rising like glass and steel, middle fingers to traditional business. Because everyone deserves a chance to evolve. Even dinosaurs. And if she doesn't? Then she'll learn what the job market thinks of people who dismiss entire industries they don't understand. Monday arrived with typical Austin heat and Patricia Worthington in the lobby, dressed in Target business casual, holding a notebook like a life preserver. The security guard called up, confusion evident. There's a Patricia here? Says she's starting today? Send her up. She's our new intern. The elevator ride probably felt eternal. From penthouse to intern desk. From judging to being judged. From dismissing careers to desperately needing one. I introduced her to the team during morning stand-up. Everyone, this is Patricia. She's joining our intern program. Patricia, why don't you tell us why you're interested in UX? She stood, hands trembling slightly. Because I spent my life thinking I understood people while actually understanding nothing. I want to learn. Really learn. From all of you. Even though we're millennials with made-up jobs? Kayla asked sweetly. Patricia's face reddened. Especially because you're millennials with skills I need. I have a lot to learn and even more to unlearn. The team exchanged glances. I'd briefed them on the situation, trusting their professionalism. They didn't disappoint. Welcome to the team, David, our lead designer, offered. First lesson, everything here has a reason. Even if it seems made up at first. Especially if it seems made up, Kayla added. The best innovations usually do. Patricia's first day was brutal. Coffee orders for 20 people. Note-taking in meetings where jargon flew like bullets. Tutorial videos that assumed baseline technical knowledge she didn't have. She struggled, fumbled, asked questions that revealed the depth of her ignorance. But she didn't quit. Day 2, she arrived an hour early, YouTube tutorials pulled up on her phone. Week 2, she correctly identified a user pain point during research review. Month 2, she presented her first persona, badly but bravely. Month 3, Kayla recommended her for the paid program. She's rough, Kayla told me privately. But she works harder than any intern we've had. And she's got insights. Weird insights from her country club days, but useful ones. No attitude problems? Oh, she started with some. Made a face when I explained my pronouns. But David called her out, and she apologized. Real apology, not politician sorry. She's trying. I approved the paid position. Minimum wage, bottom tier, but legitimate employment. Patricia cried in my office when I told her. I've never earned money, she admitted. 28 years of managing households, raising James, organizing galas. But never a paycheck with my name on it. How does it feel? Terrifying. Exhilarating. Real. She paused. I owe you an apology. A real one. You've been apologizing for 3 months. No, I've been embarrassed for 3 months. There's a difference. She met my ice. I called you a gold digger. Said you trapped James. The truth is, I was projecting. I trapped Richard. Not maliciously, but I did. Married him for security, not love. Gave up my own possibilities for his certainties. Patricia. Let me finish. You built something. From nothing, you built this. While I sat in my tower judging, you were creating. You didn't trap James, you freed him. He's happier now, working with you, than he ever was in traditional corporate. He told you that? He tells me every week when I call to apologize again. She smiled ruefully. You gave him purpose. I only gave him expectations. We all do what we think is best at the time. No. Some of us do what's easy and call it best. She stood to leave, then turned back. The Jennifer Blackwood thing? She married for money last year. Miserable already. Turns out real careers don't guarantee real happiness. Imagine that. I couldn't. Not then. But I'm learning. Patricia stayed with the company for 3 years. Never became a star designer, but developed a niche in user research focusing on older demographics. Turns out 28 years of reading rooms translated well to reading users. She remarried eventually. A freelance developer she met at a tech meetup. Someone who appreciated her journey from judgment to growth. At their wedding, she introduced me as the woman who saved my life by destroying my ego. That's dramatic, I'd said. That's accurate, she'd corrected. You could have destroyed me when I came begging. Instead, you rebuilt me. Gave me a chance I didn't deserve. Everyone deserves chances. Not everyone takes them. I almost didn't. That first day, seeing those kids, people I dismissed, being so much smarter than me, I almost ran. She'd smiled at her new husband, 10 years younger, tattoos visible under his suit. Thank God for desperate circumstances. And personal growth? That too. Though desperation definitely helped. James and I watched them dance, unlikely couple in an unlikely venue, a converted warehouse in East Austin, the kind of place Patricia would have called hipster nonsense 5 years earlier. Think she's happy? James asked. I think she's real. For the first time in 60 years, she's real. Because of you. Because of her. I just provided the opportunity. She did the work. Still. He pulled me closer. Thank you. For giving her a chance she didn't deserve. She earned it. Every humbling day, every sleepless night learning basics, every moment of choosing growth over pride. She earned it. The DJ, another 20-something with questionable fashion sense and undeniable talent, shifted to something slower. Patricia laughed at something her new husband said, looking younger than she had at that horrible brunch. Besides, I added, watching her dance, someone once told me success is the best revenge. Turns out they were wrong. Oh? Transformation is better. Revenge ends. Growth continues. Very philosophical for someone who made their mother-in-law fetch coffee for 3 months. She made excellent coffee. Even Kayla admitted it. You're terrible. I'm thorough. There's a difference. Around us, Austin's tech community celebrated one of their own. Patricia Worthington, who'd entered this world kicking and screaming, now belonged to it. Proof that it's never too late to admit you're wrong, never too early to start over, and never wise to dismiss what you don't understand. Even, especially, if it's just a fake career in made-up millennial nonsense.